So this season we got a bunch of new anime, and one that I ended up liking kind of more than the others is In the Land of Leadale, or is it In the Land of Leadale? I keep wanting to call it Leadale. So I think they actually pronounce it different in the show several times, but my brain just for some reason wants to pronounce it that way. I don't know why. Anyway, it was coming out on Wednesdays, and I believe there are 12 episodes and it's finished. I don't know for sure. I didn't see anything about like a welcome back to season 2 or whatever they like to do sometimes at like the end of the final episode of the season for other animes. Real dumb. Okay, I ended up really liking it. I thought it was super cute. It's again one of those isekai OP character type things. Now we have our main character Cayna, and basically we start with like a city and like the like power's going out, and basically she was hooked up to maybe life support or something. We find out later in the last episode she does describe that from a very young age she's been in a hospital, and the only way she could actually like move around was by playing this it's like VML RPG called Leadale. And basically the power goes out, she dies, and somehow gets in Leadale. Like it's never explained exactly what happened, just that like the power went out, and the next thing she knows she wakes up in an inn as the character she made, a high elf. And this little girl wakes her up and she's like, I'm down for breakfast. And we're introduced to some of the recurring characters. It is this village. I don't think we ever really get the village name, do we? But we have Lit. Lit is the little girl wakes her up, and then we meet like Lit's mom and her older sister, and then some of the other background characters. They're not super important, but they do reoccur. And basically, it's this small little village town thing. And a recurring joke is they like to celebrate, and every time they celebrate, Kana drinks, and apparently she always ends up with a hangover the next day. But basically, oh god, sorry. She wakes up like I'm a little confused on the math, but I think they say in the show she wakes up, or she says like 200 years later, and maybe this is Lee Dally 200 years in the future or something is what she thinks. But at some point, like in some animes they have that like that mid show card thing that pops up where the characters just kind of show up for a second and disappear, and then the show continues. Like it's like the little ad break type thing. I don't know. Anyway, and it's wait, old Kane is 317 years old. I'm just like, wait, what? I'm real fucking confused because I'm assuming she's probably like 17 when she died in Earth or whatever. Like it's never really fucking touched on, and that 200 years have passed. What she said. Then where the fuck did the other 100 years go? I'm fucking confused. Anyway, she's like, oh, what was it? I think we actually see like her stats for a second. It says she's level like 1,000. Was it 1,100? And she belonged to like a guild of kind of like these OP people. And we later learned the guild name is called Cream Cheese. I was just like, what? Okay. Like it's very random, but it very much makes sense because you'll have like the very obvious cringy names. Like we later see like they're not a guild, but they're a group of mercenaries that she kind of ends up saving one of the members of in like episode 2. It's like the Flaming Spears, which is cringy as fuck because yes, I can see someone naming their shit that in a game. And then so when I heard cream cheese, I was like, that's so fucking dumb. But at the same time, I was like, a lot of times you can't think of a name, so you just go, fuck it, what's near me? And like I can see that happening. But Kenny gets really close to like and they kind of become like little friends. It's kind of adorable, and we get like her going to the like her guardian tower, I guess, and she gives it some MP, and kind of hears her guardian, who's kind of rude, kind of asks her to like go check on the other guardian towers because like they haven't really heard anything. And basically she does kind of go to a few along the way. Like she goes to hers, the Dragon King castle, and then like another one. I think she goes to like 3 total. I don't know if we're going to get another season. I hope so. I love it. And again, she gives them MP, and she kind of hears from them that, you know, the rest of her guild members or whatever, they say masters, like they're masters of the tower. Like Cayna is the master of the tower that's close to this little village that she starts out in. Again, I don't think we actually get the village name or her tower name for that matter. We do get like 2, like the other 2 do have names. Like we have the other one she goes to is like she finds out. I think she called it as like the Castle of Murder and Mayhem or something, or Murder and Malice or something. And I'm confused because we do hear this character's name several times throughout the show. He's actually in the opening, but at the same time, we don't see him, we don't meet him. We just kind of get like a slight still image flashback type of thing. And I can't pronounce his actual fucking screen handle, so they just call him Opus. And he's kind of a dick. from the sound of it, he's kind of an asshole. And I bet you can guess which tower was his. The big bandits take over the second, or the tower, the mayhem one. She's just like, I just fucking saved them up. They would have died if they got in here. And because it was just loaded with fucking traps. And yeah, I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead so many times. But yeah, it's basically like her, and then her kind of just like enjoying things. Like it's a lot like if you, I don't know if you've ever fucking seen this one, but I have talked about this one. Is Deathmatch to the Parallel World Rhapsody, where you kind of get sucked into the game, and instead of being like, I have to get back home, they're like, fuck it, I'm living here now, what am I gonna do? Let's have fun. Like, it's very much kind of like that in that sense. And like I said, we kind of get just more of her backstory at the last episode. Otherwise, we don't get a whole bunch, just that, like, we've seen her in, like, a hospital bed. She's, like, a bunch of monitors hooked up to her. I don't know if she's, like, in a coma or anything. I don't think she is. But we see, like, her on, like, I won't say a gurney, a hospital bed, what do you want to call it? And then there's a bunch of machines around her, like, clearly a heart rate monitor or something. And then she's wearing, like, the VR headset as well. And since the power went out, I would assume she was on some kind of life support or something. Like, we don't hear what exactly it is that was wrong with her. It's just kind of like, you got to think for yourself type of thing. Like, it's not like, oh, it was this and that caused this. It was like, no, the power went out. So maybe, assuming that she's nearby all these machines, that the power goes out, and then supposedly she's now in this world, that maybe she was on some kind of life support, and when the power went out, it didn't kick on fast enough, and then she died, and somehow got her soul sucked into Leadale. I don't fucking know. But anyway, she has 3 kids, and a lot of things have changed. For one, she's kind of wondering if there are other players. And she just meet a couple later on. And but she kind of meets like the Flame Spears in episode 2. The Flaming Spears, I'm sorry. And a merchant. And she kind of guards the caravan, and they take her to the capital, and she goes to look for her kids. They have like a foster system. If you paid real money, you could like create your children, essentially. So she has 3. She has Scargo, who's a high priest, and essentially we get a brief summary of him, is that he has about as much power as, like, on rival with the king and the prime minister. So he's got influence. He's a complete, what is the term I'm blanking here? What is it called? Fuck. Mother complex, there you go. Loves his mom, calls her mother dearest. Like, he loves her a little too much. Like, I don't think it's, like, in a creepy sexual way. Quite clearly, it's not that. At least, I haven't seen or taken it in that way. It's very much like, I love my mom very much. You're not good enough for my mom. She's the best. So. And then we have, I can't remember her full name, but they call her Mai Mai. And, she is the headmaster of this mage school, I believe it is. And then we have Kartats. It's not Kartats. What the hell happened there? Kartats. I think can't pronounce it that way. And he's like a master craftsman. And she kind of goes to the capital, wants to go to like the church to see Scargo, isn't let in because obviously she needs an appointment. She's not like kicked out or anything. She just kind of goes, hey, is it Church Scargo's here? Can I see him? And then like this random girl who she never pops up again. I wonder if she will later. But she was in this season for whatever reason. And basically she's like, well, you probably can't see him unless you have an appointment. She's like, oh, okay. And then she kind of is on her way. Hold on. Hold on. My Roku went to sleep mode there. Okay. Sorry about that. If you see a video and then, like, it just goes blank for a second, it's usually my Roku turned off for a second and they're with my fucking lighting because that's usually what's lighting my room at the time. So it's not like the video ended. It's just, like, give me a second, I'll turn it back, you know. And, by the way, did I ever say you can watch this on Crunchyroll? Yeah, I'm stupid. I forgot to say that, didn't I? So yeah, 12 episodes on Crunchyroll. But, where was I? Yeah, she's kind of like walking around and then she actually hears kind of like Kartuts yelling. And then she goes into like this, it looks like a ship factory, a ship dock. I don't know what you want to call it. It's like, it's a building. They're working on a ship. It's like they're building a ship or something or working on a ship somehow. And it's like near like a port or something. I don't know how to, I'm bad at describing things. And she goes, Kartas! He turns out he's like, oh, Mom! Like, they all call her different things. Like, Scarlet calls her Mother Dearest. Mamai calls her Hahawe. And Kartuts calls her just Mum with a U instead of an M. That's how they spell it on the subtitles. Kartuts is the most normal of them. And they're all different. Like, Scargo and Mamai are like also probably high owls. And then I believe his stats are, for Kartuts, he's a dwarf. And they're all like, my and Scargo look like they're probably like, it can't be past late 20s look wise. And whereas in Kartuts, he looks like he's an older gentleman with gray hair and like a long gray beard, and you know, he's like the most normal of him. And his reactions with his mom are probably like the cutest for me because she'll pat him on the head and he gets very embarrassed by it, but you can tell he's happy, but you can tell he's like too embarrassed by it, like very soon today. So it's very cute. He's like, don't call me cute, Mom. It was adorable. And of course, they're all adorable. They all clearly love their mom very, very much. And we find out that Mai actually has married twice. I believe she's on her second husband, and she has two kids who are also older. I don't know how old they are. And then a grandson. And she doesn't fucking tell Cayna this. She's going to go see. She gets a tip, and she's gonna go see this, one of the fucking towers, my brain, and Mama gives her a letter, and she's like, hey, can you drop this off at Sakaya for someone named Carrick? And she's like, okay. And she goes there, and then she finds out, like, basically, you don't see what's written in the letter, but Elena, is that, I believe he's like a kobold, whatever the fuck that is, like, a dog person thingy. Like, think, like, dog body, like, paws, but, like, upright like a human, from the looks of it. And, he's with the Flame Spears, and I guess he hired those mercenaries, and they're kind of, like, going as, like, a caravan, and I don't know what the fuck he does. He runs a store. Looks like a relatively well-known store. Not as, well off as Sakaya, is where they have, like, literally, they're one of the biggest in the land. And, they bring, she brings, Elena kind of takes her there because she's never heard of Sakai. She's never really been there. Of course, it's 200 fucking years she's never been there. So he takes her there, and they give the letter, or they meet, like, the great grandson or whatever. And he's like, hey, we got a letter for you. And he's like, okay, do you mind if I see it? Or, well, it's a letter for your father. And he's like, can I see it for a second? He looks at it, and he, like, just immediately panics. He's like, wait 1 second. Runs off, and they're just like, huh? And then it goes to, like, the opening song. Which, by the way, I do like the music in the show. I think it fits it very well. It's very cute. Like, the opening is very joyful and, like, very energetic, very exciting, very lively, fits it very well. Like, the happy, happy, fun times. And then, like, the ending is kind of like this cutesy. I don't know how you would describe it. It's cutesy, just, like, it fits but doesn't fit at all. Like, two different genres of music. Definitely. Both of them are cute, is what I'm saying. I like both the songs. And yeah, so she finds out that Carrick and I think about Karina are essentially her grandkids. They're my children. And then do we even fucking hear his name? The guy that accepted the letter is like her great grandson or fucking something. I don't think we even get his fucking name, to be honest. I don't remember it. Um, he's just kind of lurking in the background when Carrick's on screen. But basically, Carrick owns Sakaya, and then there's his son, and then the Karina is his twin sister, and they can communicate via telepathy, and she is like the head of the knights and help Shire. I mean, learned I can't pronounce things correctly. Fuck, I'm not gonna try. So let's say with an H, and yeah, they're kind of terrified of her because I'm hoping it was more jokingly than anything, but it kind of is scary when she's angry. But basically, the letter said, "Don't piss off your grandmother. She could eat of your family. She'll rip your limb from limb or something along the line." So of course they're scared shitless of their grandma, and they accidentally kind of piss her off. And she does eventually make up with them, but. And then she's like, "Hey, you don't have telepathy. Can you communicate something to your mother?" She's like, she wants to die. Give her no information whatsoever. That, hey, I've been married. Hey, I have grandkids. No, nothing. Just gave her a letter and sent that bitch on her way. Like, and she was doing it not to be like mean or anything. Like she wanted to create like a cute moment, like for like her mom to meet her like her kids or whatever. She should have fucking known better. But Ken does not like surprises like this. Did not take it well. I mean, it's just a fun show. Like, there's a bunch of, like, fun moments and fun characters. Like, I'm kind of honestly shipping Shining Saber and cayna, I'm not gonna lie. I think the episode with them was very cute. I don't know if it was just, like, an embarrassment thing or they're kind of like, maybe they're going to start liking each other. But basically what happens, he picks her up and carries her princess style, only to realize what the fuck he just did. And now they're both embarrassed on a horse. And all his knights are like, "I didn't know you had a girlfriend, Captain." He's like the knight squad leader of Felskeda, which is basically the city, the royal capital, where her kids live. And cayna lives like outside in the village. Again, I don't know where the fuck, how far away the village is, what the fucking village is called. I don't remember if they ever said it. But yeah, it's a lot of that. And then of course we do have her meeting other players, such as Shining Saber is another player. There's Coral, and they were in the guild of one of the cream cheese members. They had another guild, and that member, I can't remember his name, was in charge of that guild as like the leader, and like I believe Shining Saber was like the co-leader or vice leader, what the fuck it's called. And then Coral was also a member of that guild. It was like something Horseman Guild. And then we also have hints that, or the Guardian said that like kind of like their masters are no longer around, which is basically the other guild members. And kind of learns that like this is 200 years. It's not even in the future that Leadale actually closed down. It went offline. And so there's kind of like a little darker element there, but for the most part, it's very happy, fun times. And occasionally something bad happens and Kano one-shots it. So I do believe there is like a bit of a darker story here, but it's not really dived into. It's kind of like a little thing they give you to like hint at later. I believe eventually they'll go into it better. I do think you should try it out. It's very cute. I can't really describe the show well enough. But I had a lot of fun watching it, and so I was making sure I was actually fucking recording because I would have been pissed if I had spent 19 minutes just talking to myself, not even hitting the play button. This is something I would do, let's be honest. Anyway, I don't know what else to say other than I think you should try it, and I have to pee, so I don't know why you need to know that way.